Welcome back to Ask Allison. All right, here is today's question. I'm working with a group practice and my boss plans to get me credentialed as an LCSW with the insurance panels. I already have an MPI and CAQH. I've registered my business in Ohio. Can I build a website, purchase malpractice insurance, and get started on an EHR? It's a lot of letters, y'all. Buckle up if you need some help with them. I'm totally going to explain some of these. Okay, so first, I want to thank TherapyNotes for sponsoring Ask Allison. It's an all-inclusive, simple, affordable practice management system that has everything you need, from your calendar to your notes, your video conferencing. It has a low credit card processing fee. It's the highest rated EHR on Trustpilot. It's awesome. So you should check them out. You can sign up for 2 free months over at therapynotes.com using the promo code ABUNDANT. So I want to clarify your question. Are you doing this for the group practice that you're part of, or for your own practice that you're going to have in addition to working for this group practice? I'm going to answer both of these since I know a lot of you are out there in this early startup position. If it's for the group, I'm curious what the group is taking responsibility for. You've registered your business. So if this question is for your work in the group, I'm assuming you're a 1099 contractor and not an employee. So what is the group doing for you? Do they already have a website you'll be featured on, in which case you don't need to build your own website? Do they not pay for the EHR? EHR is the electronic health record, just in case y'all don't know. So for people joining group practices, I want you to be so clear about what the group is doing for you versus what you're responsible for. And I personally feel pretty strongly that group practices should be an employment opportunity rather than a contractor situation. It is a stretch of the IRS's description of what a contractor is to call a therapist in a group practice a contractor. It happens really often. Like, it's one of those things where so many people do it, so everybody just assumes it's fine. But the reason that happens so much is because it shifts the tax burden associated with being self-employed to the contractor instead of the group practice owner. It allows group practices to provide jobs without benefits. It also allows them to evade some, but not all, responsibility if something goes sideways in one of their clinicians' practice. So in my opinion, the benefit of working in a group practice is not having to worry about business ownership, the bulk of the marketing, or paying for systems like an EHR or insurance credentialing. CAQH, which was mentioned in the question, is a database essentially that you can put yourself in and then designate which insurance companies you want to be paneled with. And it's like a one-stop shop for the insurance companies. It makes it easier for them. You don't have to apply to like a million different places. You've got this one more formal application. So if you're paying for all those things yourself and you're doing a bunch of business ownership work, I'm really going to encourage you to reconsider your participation in the group. Now, if it's the other thing, like you're part of a group practice, you're part of a group practice and you're starting your private practice as well, here's my suggestion. Get malpractice insurance first. You're going to need it for insurance credentialing. Getting malpractice insurance doesn't take long. It's a nice quick pat on the back to get things handled quickly. You can check that off your list. I'm assuming that you want to take insurance since you mentioned CAQH. Get set up to take insurance ASAP because that takes a while. Designate your own practice within CAQH. Taking insurance at a group doesn't cover you in your own practice. That needs to be separate. Getting acclimated to an EHR can take a minute. So I suggest biting the bullet, watching the tutorials. None of us want to watch the tutorials. Do it anyway. Definitely check out TherapyNotes, which I mentioned at the beginning. You can get 2 months free to play with it. See if it's a good fit for you by entering ABUNDANT as the promo code. Now, the building of a website is going to take the longest. So I'm going to encourage you to spend some good time on it, but don't wait until it's perfect to publish it. Creating a great website is so important. Here are the steps. First, identify your niche. Get really specific. The person who submitted this question just joined the Abundance Party around the same time. So I'm going to suggest that you complete the Know Your Niche course first. That's within the Abundance Party. Once you know your niche, you can start on your website. You want to consider design or theme first in that. Make sure it looks current. We don't want this to look like a Geosites page from 1998. Make sure your images aren't the typical cheesy therapist pictures. Typical cheesy therapist pictures are stock photos, those little, like, I call them bubble people in my head that people will use in their logos that nobody really connects to those bubble people, y'all. Stacks of rocks, trees, nature scenes. Some of you are feeling called out right now. I've been there. I love you. I've done all these things except bubble people myself. So don't feel like, oh no, I'm so embarrassed, I'm doing it wrong. We all learn as we go. The best photos are going to be photos of you. I know it makes most of us want to cringe. And photos of people who actually look like your clients, not the model version, not the cheesy version, but like people who look like your clients who are living their best lives. Make sure that your copy, meaning the words that you're writing on your website, are clearly written for your niche in the kinds of words that you use in session, not the way we learned to write in grad school. That's an immediate turnoff. It doesn't make you sound smarter. It doesn't make you sound more competent. It just makes people bored when they're reading your copy and click away. So talk like you do in session, like you do like a human being. Now, for those in the Abundance Party, go to the Marketing Fundamentals course. The website section has you covered in spades. We walk you through exactly how to do this. We even have templates to make writing the copy so much easier. If you aren't in there, you can join the party. It's only $49 a month. That's at abundanceparty.com. Our free download this week is actually our checklist. Some of you probably have it. I hope you do. But it takes you step by step through the opening up process. I share some of my favorite resources in there. You can find that at abundancepracticebuilding.com/checklist. And yeah, it's big, it's thick, but that's because I ramble about why I like the resources I like. It's not because there are like a million pages of things you have to check off before you open your practice. So if you have questions for Ask Allison, I would really love to answer them. DM me over on Instagram, and I will link to anything I mentioned in here today below.